Hello my friends and welcome back to my channel, Coffee Tea Paper. My name's Louise and we're setting up for week 16 today in our journals, and this year I've been working my way through this box with you guys, which is Look Up, Look In, 52 Meditations on Nature by Mari Andrew, and I am really enjoying these prompts. Sometimes they've been a little predictive, which has been a little bit freaky, but on the most part I really like their sort of simplistic childlike illustrations, and then the quite deep and thought-provoking reflections on the back. So I'm finding a really nice combination. Last week for week 15, which is really this week, we had View from a Train with this amazing German word, which I'm not going to attempt this week. It said about taking steps towards your goals. I've got a sort of ongoing goal this year to improve my health and fitness levels, and so I'm just continually working on those. I actually bought myself some new scales, which rather than just giving you a blanket sort of figure, gives you some more interesting information around muscle mass and, oh dear, fat percentage, which nobody really wants to know, but you gotta know, right? If you want to try and improve things, you need to know what the benchmark is to start from. Anyway, so we're calling it the scale of doom right now, but might warm to it over time. Anyway, so we'll pop this one back in the box and see what we have for this coming week. Clear day. Well, we haven't had too many of those lately. We've had a lot of rain. I'm looking forward to those crisp, clear days that we get during our winter. Surely they will be arriving soon. So let us see what clear day is all about. Clear-headedness. Such an elusive and wonderful gift. What will it take to get really clear about your next step right now? It may come down to clarifying values and priorities, taking cues from your journal and from what has been giving you the most joy lately. Reflect on what is truly providing the most happiness and use that as a starting point to make decisions in the future. When it comes to your personal joy, the answer may be clearer than you think. I like this idea about reflecting on your personal joy and thinking about what provides the most happiness. And I think keeping a journal really helps with identifying those things. So I like to, and particularly this journal, I write down, because it's the horizontal, so I just write down a few sentences for each day, and it's really good to go back at the end of the week and just read through, and it does help you identify, well what made certain days feel more, or why did you feel more happy on certain days, what were contributing factors to that, what days perhaps left you feeling a bit flat and why that might have been. And I think, having kept a journal for a very long time, I have a fairly good understanding. For me, a good balance in my life, a good balance between exercise, social, feeling that I'm achieving things in my personal life, as well as my little side hustles of my Etsy store and those sorts of things. All of those combine together to make me have a feeling of overall happiness. The days where I'm feeling a bit flat are days where I just felt that I've gone nowhere, that I haven't seen anyone, I haven't really done anything, like even if it's just a load of washing, I haven't progressed anything in any direction, unless of course I have made an active decision that today is a rest day. Today is a day for just kicking back and enjoying myself, like maybe reading some in my book or just dabbling around with my paints or something. So unless I have really made a conscious decision that it's a nothing, low expectation day, I do struggle. I do like to feel like I am at least ticking off something each day. Sometimes that drives my husband a bit nuts. he he likes to have days where there's just nothing, and I kind of go, oh, it's a nothing day. Oh, what could we achieve? And he's like, we don't have to achieve, but you know, we're all different. So sometimes I just have to step back and think, okay, well, what can I do today? And sometimes he comes to the party and goes, okay, I understand she needs to tick something off this box. Let's just do this one thing. And yeah, so we're all different, hey? Clear day. This actually reminds me, I had a nice lie-in this morning and I watched Carlo Pavan, his latest video, which is about reflecting on spring, and he created 3 beautiful pages for spring, and I really, really liked all of them. I was particularly, he made some beautiful tulips out of, vellum. And they looked amazing. It was just such a very simple yet elegant page that he made. Loved it. This kind of makes me think about one of the other pages he created where he did a bit of an homage to spring in Japan with the sakura flowers blooming. And here, of course, we're not in spring, we're in autumn, but we have a lot of trees in our street that come into bloom in autumn, but they're autumnal colors, and I'm just thinking maybe I could kind of borrow some elements of what he did for his spread with the sakura and the sky and branches, but incorporate that on my page. And because one of the things that does bring me happiness is being out and observing, and you have to be really observant here, living in subtropical climate, about the changes to seasons. It's not as obvious as snow in winter, orange leaves in autumn, and so on. Like, it's a lot more subtle than that, and so you really need to be in touch with what's going on around you. I'm going to channel a bit of Carlo today, I think, and do something along those lines. So we'll see. It might end up being completely different. I'll see. And I'll also see if I can get some nice footage of the trees that I'm talking about, because, or maybe I shouldn't, because then you won't know if I've done a good job or not. We'll see. If I go out my afternoon walk and, it's not raining or anything, I'll see what I can do. Pop it in later. Okay, go and grab your stuff if you're journaling along with me, or grab your tea or coffee or your wine if that's the time of the day it is, or the need is required, and let's do some journaling together. So the first thing that Carlo did for his page was he, using some travel brochures and some magazines and things, cut out some squares of different skies, like clear skies. How perfect for our prompt today. So this just came in this morning's newspaper. We're getting subscription to the Australian, so I'm just going to have a look through here and see if there's some sort of images of clear skies that I can use for my pages. Okay, so the next thing Carlo did, and he just sort of created 3 kind of things on his page. I've decided I want to do sort of a more cohesive, I guess, collage on mine. Was that he drew branch shapes on an old book page and then sort of had different clusters on his page. So I am going to do that as well and see how I go. I don't think I'm quite as artistic as Carlo, so I don't think they're going to look quite as branchy, but we'll see. I'm quite happy with this so far, so we might glue this down and then I'll move on to the next step. Now, the last thing that Carlo did on his page was he mixed up some paints, some acrylic paints, a selection of pinks and white to represent the cherry blossoms. Now, I want to represent the autumnal trees that I'm thinking of that are populating my street. And so rather than mixing up paint, I'm actually going to use one of my MU ink, well, a couple of my MU ink dot things, these ones, and I'm just going to use them as they are because they're already in like little circles, because what he ended up doing was using the end of a pencil in the paint to make the dots, but I don't think I need to do that. So I'm going to use a mix of probably this green and this apricot-y orangey colour, which is really what the trees are looking at the moment, and maybe with a bit of this beige as well. Even see a bit of this green. I definitely need a bit more, really want a bit more orangey. That's not right. I have to go for brown. Alright, my friends. The ink is still drying on my page, and I just did a tiny little collage over on this side to remind me where I found my original inspiration for today's page, which is of course from Carlo Parvan, and I will link his channel in the description box below if you're not already familiar with his channel. It's not quite as beautifully artistic as his, but it certainly captures, I think, the spirit of this card. It captures the spirit of what's happening actually in nature in my very street, as well as leaning in towards the inspiration from Carlo's original pages. So I'm really, really happy with it. I mean, it doesn't get much easier than that. Chopping up a bit of the newspaper, a bit of an old book page, just some paint or some ink, or you could use felt pens or anything really that you have to hand, and of course just making a note of what the prompt behind the page is. If I can grab some footage of the trees that I'm sort of referring to today, you'll see just how they don't look like this at all, but you might you might be able to envisage what I was trying to do. And yeah, so that is it for week 16, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. I probably should say, I always forget, but it's probably time to remember. If you haven't already and you would like to subscribe, please hit that subscription button and I would very much appreciate it. That's all from me. Bye.